When you think of London, what comes to mind? Big Ben, right? Buckingham Palace, all the famous landmarks. But this story, well, it's about a completely different London. It's about the city that wakes up hours before the tourists, seen through the eyes of the people who really keep it running. We're going to spend a day in the life of one of those people. And our story really begins and ends right here at the Alberton Depot. Look, this isn't just a workplace. It's the whole world for the men you see here. It's the backdrop for their routines, their friendships, and their daily grind. These are the real people at the heart of this, a world away from the city's glamour. And this gets to a really crucial idea. You see, there are two Londons. They exist side by side, but they are worlds apart. You've got the city everyone knows, and then you have the London that millions of workers experience every single day. I mean, this contrast says it all, doesn't it? On the left, that's the postcard London. But on the right, that's our narrator's reality. Depots, back streets, all the forgotten corners. This workers' London is where our entire story happens. It's a city defined by super early mornings and hard work, not what you'd find on a tourist map. So let's meet one of the key figures in this story, besides our narrator, a man named Albert Facey. But everybody, and I mean everybody, called him Mr. Bond. He was 64, had come over from Jamaica when he was just 20, and had been in England for over 40 years. He lived a pretty quiet life, alone. Mr. Bond is this fascinating character who spent a lifetime in a country but always seems just a little bit apart from it all. So, what was a day actually like for our narrator and his new friend, Mr. Bond? Well, it wasn't just about sweeping streets, no. It was about the unwritten rules, the little side hustles and routines they built to make a tough job manageable and to make it their own. And one of their most important rituals started at a local post office. And check this out. Their system was kind of brilliant. Every single morning, they'd swing by this post office. Their official job was to grab a specific box of trash, but there was this unspoken deal. In return, each of them could take one small thing from the shop, something worth about £1, as a sort of unofficial payment. A clever win-win situation for everyone. And this is where that simple little arrangement becomes something so much bigger. You see, because no one at the post office checked the envelopes too closely, this became a lifeline for our narrator. He could sneak some cash, maybe some chocolates, into letters for his family all the way back in Ukraine. Think about that. A small bit of trust in a London post office became this vital link to home, hundreds of miles away. After the morning's work, the next part of the routine was just as critical, rest. But this wasn't some official scheduled break. Nah, just like everything else in their day, it was something they had to carve out for themselves in the middle of all the chaos. This quote pretty much says it all. Their morning break wasn't just a quick cup of tea. It was a whole strategy, a 2-hour window to refuel, recharge, and honestly, just sleep before tackling the rest of a really tough physical day. And yeah, this is literally what it looked like. This daily nap in the truck, you gotta understand, it wasn't a luxury, it was a flat-out necessity. It was a crucial part of their rhythm, a way to find a quiet moment of peace before heading back into the grind. Their other little sanctuary was this small cafe run by a Turkish family. It was just one of those warm, welcoming places. There was an Irish waitress there who always made sure their tea was topped up, no extra charge. In a huge city where they were mostly invisible, this little cafe was a place where simple kindness made them feel like they actually mattered. And then, one day, a number gets put on the table. The owner's dad just casually mentions he's thinking about selling the place. And the price? £45,000. All of a sudden, this fleeting glimpse of a totally different kind of life just appears out of nowhere. The owner even laid it out for them. Hey, what if you three, you, Mr. Bond, and another friend, each put in $15,000 and just bought the cafe? For a split second, that dream of being their own bosses, of owning this little haven, was so close you could almost touch it. It was such a wild contrast to their day-to-day. What if that just kind of hung in the air? So all of this, the morning collections, the naps in the truck, dreaming about the cafe, it was the bedrock for a really powerful friendship. These shared days forged this incredible bond between the young immigrant narrator and his much older Jamaican coworker, Mr. Bond. And then you have this wonderful, simple human moment. One day, during their lunch break, the narrator just brings Mr. Bond home with him to meet his Polish housemates. It was this little act of bridging their two worlds, bringing a friend from the streets of workers' London into the small piece of it he called home. And you can tell just how significant this visit was for Mr. Bond from this one amazing quote he shared. When he met the narrator's Polish female housemates, this is what he said. It was this funny, memorable moment of cultural connection that shows just how much that simple lunch meant to him. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second, because this day, this routine, this friendship, it's more than just a nice story. To really get why this period was so incredibly meaningful, you have to understand the bigger, much more precarious picture of the narrator's life. And here's the thing, this little slice of stability, of normalcy, it came after some almost unbelievable hardship. We're talking about being arrested and having to claim asylum. We're talking about scavenging through abandoned cars for loose change just to get by. About being so broke that a 19-pence loaf of bread was too expensive. The stakes for him were just incredibly high. And that's really what it all boils down to. For someone living on the absolute margins, a steady job, a daily routine, a real friend, those aren't small things, they're monumental. This life was tough, for sure, but it was a hard-won island of stability and a massive sea of uncertainty. So it leaves you with this question, right? In a city of millions, a city full of immigrants from every corner of the globe, all just trying to build a life, where do you really find home? Is it an address? Or is it something you build, one moment at a time, through shared routines, small kindnesses, and the friendships you find in the most unexpected places?